Oh, let me fix the camera. There you go. Anyway, what's up, y'all? Sorry I didn't do this video yesterday. Today, I am reviewing Wrath of Man. And then tomorrow, we'll do the Barbie video where I'm going to be kind of just laughing at the Barbie fans who are crying because Greta and Margot Robbie were not nominated. So I'll be talking about that. But today, Wrath of Man was just such an awesome movie. I remember seeing it at the time and just being so wild because one, it was Guy Ritchie, and it was ultimately a revenge movie about a man, not Frank, I'm thinking of his other movie, Transporter, Patrick, who joins this security, job as an armored truck guard. Because we get the reveal that he was a father during one of the robberies, which you get revealed later on. Because this movie's kind of in parts, and we get the reveal that it opens, we see a armored truck get robbed, two armed guards, and you don't see the other guard, which is revealed to be Hill, and get one of the reveals that one of the stops these guys hit. Patrick Hill's out with his son, and his son Doug gets killed by one of the guys doing the robbery, and then he ends up getting injured during it. So it's in 4 parts. The first part is just kind of, you just see Patrick Hill just being the security guard, badass security guard, and you don't really get much in the first act. It's when he gets to the second and third. Yeah, this is where we see what actually happened. We see Patrick get shot after his son Dougie gets killed. And this is where we find out that Hill is not just some dude. He was actually part of a gang. Then the third act is where we actually see the actual robbers doing their thing. And then the last part is where that ending, where we see, my opinion, one of my fucking coldest endings ever, where we just see Patrick kill the guy who killed his son, or Hargraves, which is his real name. Kill the guy who killed his son. So, because he made it look like because there's like a big shootout in the end. And he made it seem like he got shot in the shootout, but no, he didn't. So when the guy got home with all the glue, because he ends up turning on all his partners, and I'll go more into that when we get to the story part of it. Scott Eastwood's in this. Pretty decent cast. Josh Hartnett's in this. Scott Eastwood, Andy Garcia. Pretty fun cast. Even the one scene you see Post Malone, he was decent. He was a robber and ends up getting killed. But so yeah, Hargraves kills him in the spots where the guy who killed his son, in the spots where his son got shot. It's crazy. It's a great film. So very much recommend it. It's a solid revenge story. It's not too long. It's like 2 hours, or a little bit shy of 2 hours. But yeah, I overall love it. I think I remember being wowed by it the first time I saw it back in 2021, and just being like, yeah, it's a great revenge story. And it's an interesting one when we get the reveal of, Patrick actually being Hargraves, his real name Hargraves, and he's actually a fucking crime lord. Because there's a scene where him and his people kidnap a guy to basically get information about what happened to his son. Like, that's a crazy opening scene. Like, that's later in the movie. Because the real reason is he wants to join Fortico to hunt the people who did the robbery. Yeah, it's a great film. Kind of came out out of nowhere back in 21. So, tomorrow I'll be laughing at these fucking Barbie fucking weirdos crying that Barbie didn't get nominated, even though it's got apparently 8 nominations, which that's 8 more than it deserves. It doesn't deserve any nominations, in my humble opinion. When the Iron Claw didn't get fucking nominated, Zac Efron's performance in that literally beats any performance Barbie. or even Koichi's performance -1. And yeah, -1 got a VFX nom, which okay, that's cool, but it should have got film nomination. No one fucking watched Poor Things, and I know there are people out there who say it's a good movie. No one fucking watched it. This is why no one. And I'm gonna go into that a little bit too. Why no one watches the Oscars anymore? Because you always nominate these fucking movies that nobody actually ended up fucking watching. Who the fuck watched Poor Things? Most people did. I heard The Holdovers is actually good, and you know that's fine if some of these things are actually good, but it is frustrating when you don't nominate shit people actually. No, I'm not even saying it needs to be like Marvel shit, I guess, because most of those don't deserve nominations. But the Iron Claw deserves a nomination. -1 should have been in film of the year. You kidding me? That's like that should have easily like you would nominate for Best Picture. But Barbie? No. Like the only one I really agree with is Oppenheimer. I think it deserves it as much as it's not my personal favorite film of the year, but it's definitely I can see an argument for it being nominated. I don't see that with Barbie, so we'll be talking about that tomorrow because it's just cringe crying that Margot Robbie didn't get nominated when I'm sorry her performance in Barbie wasn't anything groundbreaking. You know, it was just eh. So I'll be talking about that tomorrow. But anyway, let's get into Wrath of Man. So the movie starts. We see, you know, a robbery happen. You don't necessarily see who's in the truck. You see the one guard, but you don't see who's the other guard in the truck. And then that's when we get the first act, which is called A Dark Spirit. And this is where you meet Patrick Hill and some of the other colleagues. We meet Boy Sweat or Dave. I know it's that's a nickname. Dave played is that's Josh Hartnett, who I'm very much happy he's kind of gotten a resurgence over the last few years because I actually think he's a good actor. You know, when he's actually utilized. So, one of someone's taken bullet is taken hostage. He's another member of the colleagues of the security guard. And Hill, instead of because Dave was ready to like run, he convinces Dave not to, and this is where he takes out the entire robbery crew, and this is when the FBI shows up, and this is where we see Agent King, who is that's Andy Garcia. He was so much better in this than fucking Expendables 4. It's not even funny. Like this is the kind of movie. It's not like Beekeeper because this movie there is action, but it's not just a straight up action flick like Beekeeper was. This definitely there is action, but it's definitely Guy Ritchie's a lot of character dialogue, especially even with the veteran robbers who we see later. You know, they like put work into the characters. It's not just like a straight up action. It's a revenge story, but it's a more of a long kind of revenge story. Whereas it's not like just straight up blood and guts. Not guts. I'm not saying that's what Beekeeper was. Beekeeper was very much straight up, more of just straight up action. You know, revenge story. I'm not saying this isn't action, but the whole film isn't just them. So the next chapter is Scorched Earth. This is where we jump back 5 months and we see Patrick out with his son talking to his boss about a robbery because we get the reveal, I'll just spoil it, that he's actually Hill is a fake name because his real name is Hargraves, Mason Hargraves, who's a part of a mob. He's basically the mob, essentially the mob. He's a crime lord. So while he's out with his son Dougie, this is where the robbery you saw earlier happen and play out. And during it, one of the guys go crazy. I'm just gonna get the names right now. Scott Eastwood Jan, who, I didn't realize his name was Jan, but yeah, Jan, Scott Eastwood's character, basically goes crazy, and this is where he shoots Dougie and some other people. And because of that, I'm kind of blurring two stories together because this is where you kind of see a long version of it. But yeah, you see him shoot his son down, and then later, Hill's I'll say his real name. Hargraves wakes up in the hospital, meets with King, and King basically agrees to let him turn his back, turn a blind eye. And basically, Hargraves is just going through people to find Doug's killer. And this is when, a little bit later, he realizes it's the Fortico coming. That's when we see that. I'm jumping ahead. But yeah, so the third chapter, Bad Animals Bad, this is where we see the group basically get formed. Carlos, Sam, Brad, Tom, and Jan. This is where they become thieves, and we see their first robbery, which that was cool. That's what I mean. This movie isn't just a straightforward action movie. There's a lot of time jumping, which there's some I can see that getting annoying, but it doesn't bother me because the movie's broken up in chapters, and they even show you it. Like whenever they transition, they would play the chapter title, so it's not like it's not a straightforward movie like Beekeeper was either. And this is where we see Jan do the big robbery. We see them plan it out, plan out their robberies, and I do like that stuff when they're planning out the robberies, and they're bad guys, but you do kind of get a look into their lives, So, and this is when Jan shoots a couple of guards and shoots Dougie, and he ends up shooting Hargraves. Not killing him, but wounding him. And then this is where we get a time jump, and they're gonna reunite to steal 150 million from the Fortico Depot because we get a reveal that they have a person on the inside, which is revealed to be because they have one of the guards is in the inside. I'll look for the name because he's like the reveal. Because we get the reveal, he's the I'll just say the guard that's with him. You see throughout the film. Is sorry if you hear my fucking cat right now, but yeah, the guard that's with him is actually revealed to be the one that's on the inside. He even tells Hargraves or Hill that just go with it. Just if you lay low, you'll come out alive. Because it's on Black Friday. Oh, Bullet, that's the reveal. So Bullet is the person that's on the inside man for Jackson, who's the main kind of leader of the group. That actor is pretty good. I do like him. Jeffrey Donovan, I've seen him in other stuff. He's a pretty good actor. Generally, I even though they're bad guys, I do like the dynamic of the guy of the robbers, and basically threatening everyone to cooperate. They're in these bulletproof kind of suits, and then the alarm is triggered. Guards are killed. Hargraves, basically, this is where we do get a bit more of it does kind of go a little bit more action, and he kind of takes out a couple of guys. Jan, they all basically manage to escape. This is where it looks like seemingly Hargraves dies because Bullet shoots him and a couple other people. And then this is where we get the chase scene, and then Jan actually turns on everybody so he can take some money for himself, you know. And when he gets back home, and this is where we get the reveal, Hargraves was actually not dead. They planted a phone that was planted because he finds a phone that's planted on him. And yeah, this scene is fucking great because the moment he gets his revenge, you savor it. You know, he talks about Dougie, gives him Dougie's autopsy report, basically shoots him in the spots. It was the heart, the liver, and I think like the kidney, or no, the lung. And no, the heart was final. It was like, I think it was kidney or lung first, and then it was the kidney or the liver. It was one of those. And then the last one was heart. It was like, that was such a good scene. And then he walks away. King, he tells King it's done, and then he walks away and, drives away with, film ends. So, having rewatched, I think Beekeeper is a little bit better. I do like the revenge story in that a little bit better. It is more straightforward, but I do like this film. I think this one is I still think it's one of Statham's best. I like the idea of it, and I do like it doesn't just try to just be a straight revenge film. It does have other things going on. Pretty fun cast. I like how it is broken into chapters. It feeds into Guy Ritchie's strength, which is characters. I was like, for me, one of the reasons I watch Guy Ritchie films, just in general, I'm always going to be intrigued, is how he does characters. So, I thought the character with the team of, Jackson's team, even though they are bad guys, I do like the dynamic of them. They do show you that this world, that's the other thing I think Guy Ritchie always does well. The world feels lived in. Even if it's just a one-off film where there's not going to be any more, the world in that one film is still lived in. It's not just, it's a one-off film, so I don't have to necessarily, but no, he makes it feel lived in. Like, these guys have known each other for a long time. You buy it, And I just think Guy Ritchie knows how to direct Jason Statham. He just makes him a badass. And that fucking ending is so fucking cryptic. When he thinks he's won, he pours himself like a shot. He's all like, I got all the money, and then you just hear the phone ring, and then it's like, fuck. And you just hear Statham's voice. That's a chilling moment right there. Like, I really think that ending scene is so fucking great. Yeah, it's not like a straightforward action movie like Beekeeper is, but I do think it still does a good job. You like the chase there, and I do like how it is broken up into parts, So, overall, I'd give this film a 9 out of 10. I really love it. One of my favorite films of 2021 at the time. I wish I reviewed this at the time. I just didn't, but, I'm reviewing it now, so it is what it is. But, yeah, it's a great one. I definitely recommend it for people, especially if you like Guy Ritchie. It very much feeds into Guy Ritchie's strengths. So, and the other thing, yeah, he's great with casts. He knows how to give you a fucking great cast in the movie. Even like Operation Fortune, which isn't like one of his bigger movies, has a great fucking cast. So he knows how to just nail it with the cast. So. But yeah, 9 out of 10 film. One of my favorite Statham films. It's not up there with, like, I would say Transporter, or anything or something like that. Like, I think that's probably his best movie for me, is the first Transporter. But I do definitely love it. I love this one. So anyway, so far what I'm gonna be, I guess I can go into what I'm gonna be doing going into this week. Tomorrow, that Barbie video. Monday will be my 2012 list. Tuesday will be Saw 4. Wednesday, originally, I was gonna do Velocipaster. I'm still gonna do that, but I just might do it the week after. This Thursday, Wednesday, I'll be doing, we'll be doing Plan 9 from Outer Space, but on Twitter, I'll be reviewing that. Plan 9 from Outer Space. I watched someone react to it the other day. Holy shit. I can only imagine watching the whole thing, because, what the fuck? I've seen Ed Wood, so I've always somewhat known of that movie, but I've never seen it all the way through. I just knew it was this notoriously a historically bad movie, so we'll be talking about that on Wednesday. Thursday, originally I've been doing these Statham films on Fridays, but because Argyle is Friday, and I am going to be trying to see it Friday, Who knows? If I don't end up seeing it Friday afternoon, maybe I might change it. But most likely, I think I will be seeing it Friday afternoon. So if I do, I'll be doing Argyle on Friday. So on Thursday, I'll be doing Crank. So we'll be still doing Satham because I do want to get into the. I love that first Crank. I don't really remember the sequels. I've seen them. I've at least seen the second one. I think there's three of them. I've seen the second one at least. But I definitely, that first Crank is great. I love how badass it is. Even though the concept's fucking out there, it's still fucking great. But yeah, so I'll be watching that, doing that on Thursday. But yeah. Anyway, guys, this fucking movie is great. Wrath of Man is awesome. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna call it here, end it here. Alright, y'all. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Going in on these fucking Barbie retards. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.